Hello everyone, and welcome to my Days of Our Lives official. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up.
Hattie is startled to see Bonnie's condition when she brings a box of bonbons into her room on today's episode of Days of Our Lives. As Bonnie recovers, she worries about what will happen, and Bonnie manages to stammer that Kayla is filling in. When Hattie pulls out a script, she discovers that it largely features Charlemagne and Cassandra. After returning home, Steve and Kayla are still discussing the wedding when they discover an envelope at the door bearing a body and soul script. At the notion of her first writing, Kayla feels depressed. After looking through it and seeing that every scene she has is with Hattie, she asks Steve to go over her lines with her. At Bonnie's hospital bedside, Dazed Hattie reads a screenplay, while the injured patient sits with her eyes closed. As Hattie and Bonnie do the same in the hospital, they begin to go through the lines. They all reach the point where Charlemagne is shot dead by Cassandra. Once more, a red X is then drawn across Hattie's picture. The fact that Charlemagne is dying so quickly after returning has left Steve and Kayla rather perplexed. They then witness Cassandra's death as well. In the meantime, Hattie calls Leo to scold him, but the call ends up in voicemail, so she goes to face him head-on. When Kate mentions the possible mess of Alex and Joy dating, Abe and she go over the scripts in the body and soul offices. If things don't work out, they'll have another issue. As Kate rants about Alex having slept with her, Stephanie interrupts. She gives them a brief summary of how Jada's wedding went horribly wrong because they are astonished to see her. However, she came by to inform them that she had completed all of the press releases and that she was leaving. She has already asked her buddy Andrea to step in. However, she must do this since she and Alex want to be together. Despite the fact that Alex is currently with Joy, she would much prefer be with him than the show.
She's at least trying.
Days in the body and soul offices, Kate and Abe are standing across from Stephanie, staring at her as she holds out her hand, palm up. As Joy and Alex finish their roll in the hay, she immediately starts chatting about how much more relaxed work has been since that Chanel isn't around to criticize her. The body and soul script that appeared in an envelope should then be reviewed. When Joy learns that Raven will die during childbirth, she is surprised. The Stalker crosses off a picture of Joy in another place. Alex investigates himself because he believes there is a mistake, only to discover that Arrow also perishes. His picture is also crossed out. Alex, however, realizes that the program is scheduled for April 1st, indicating that it must be an April Fool's Day episode. Joy is fine with being fired, but she doesn't think so. From the beginning, this work has been a pain in the neck. The only positive outcome of this is Alex. Dazed Joy and Alex lay naked in bed together while Joy looks at a script in shock. Alex objects to the idea of meeting her parents, but Joy proposes a Valentine's Day trip to New York. He recalls telling Stephanie that he and Joy weren't officially together. He brings himself back to the present and warns Joy that this might be a little too quick. She confirms that he wishes to join her in celebrating Valentine's Day. Yes, of course, yes. He then receives a text from Stephanie and, in spite of Joy's invitation to stay, makes plans to go. Dazed with his arms folded across from Chanel, Johnny stands in the living room. Johnny is on the phone with Seth in the DiMera residence, expressing his need for faith. Chanel enters at that point and claims to have placed an envelope at his front door. Chanel claims she came to speak with him about them after he hangs up with Seth. She makes it plain that he must speak with her if he is ever concerned about anything since they cannot allow things to fester. Johnny accepts full responsibility and promises to improve his communication skills and never mistrust her. They both claim to be in love and to only want one another. Despite the near misses, Chanel points out that neither of them ultimately violated their oaths. She agrees when Johnny urges her to please come home. Her bags are actually in the car already. They agree to take things one day at a time, but Johnny is thrilled. He rushes outside to retrieve the bags after they share a kiss. He looks over the body and soul script once they're settled in. Oh my God. Leo eliminated Seth's persona, and another red X appears. Dazed sitting in their kitchen, still in their wedding attire, Kayla glances at Steve. When Alex visits Stephanie in the last moments of the play, She informs him that she has left body and soul. She makes it apparent that she simply had to follow her heart, shot or not, leaving him speechless. He claims that Joy has evolved past casual and that they are still together. It's time to stop things because he doesn't desire that. Steph, all I want is to be with you. Stephanie laments how many issues they've had since Bonnie's curse, and Abe and Kate regret her leaving. Abe advises her to rest while he completes the scheduling. Meanwhile, Kayla phones Abe to inquire about Cassandra's death because she believes it was her fault. Does a cat shoot her? Is she to blame for that? Abe doesn't understand a word she says. Leo must be acting strangely. Days Hattie observes as Leo, wearing gloves, looks down at a writing in his room, bewildered. Hattie yells at Leo about the murderous script as she storms into his room. Gloves on, Leo makes it apparent that he had nothing to do with that. Back at the inn, Leo recognizes that this might be the stalker and crosses out his photo. Leo looks on in confusion as Hattie begins to lose her balance and falls onto the bed. Joy is reading her tablet back at her house when things start to become hazy. She also falls. If Alex truly wants to be with Stephanie, she wants to know. I certainly do. He tries to kiss her but falls on the couch. After telling Steve what Abe said, Kayla becomes amused and faints on him. Finally, feeling dizzy, Johnny gets up to contact Leo. He collapses on the sofa. Abe discovers the solution in the body and soul office. Oh my God. I believe I know who is responsible for this. The last picture, Abe's, the only one without a red X, is picked up by the stalker. Joy believes Alex will be spending Valentine's Day with her while she is in bed. The issue? Stephanie tells him straight up that she feels something for him. In the hospital hallways, Alex and Stephanie kiss. Joy notices them as she emerges in a robe and an four-drip. Hold on, has anything happened to Joy, or is this a part of body and soul? Belle tells her lover that she will never do that again after her mother, of all people, catches her in bed with EJ. They're ripping their clothes off 2 seconds later, so never say never. Johnny tells Chanel that he let his jealousy get out of control and implores her to come home in the hopes that the most romantic day of the year may inspire some forgiveness. They share a kiss as she smiles. We don't know if this is all in Johnny's imagination or if it's real.
At last.
Kayla informs Steve that he is the only man she wants, and they get heated up for the love-themed holiday. Kayla suddenly faints. Steve reports that his wife has fallen and is not responding, so he phones for an ambulance. Given that Kayla has taken Cassandra's place on body and soul for a short time, we must ask whether the stalker has returned.